Hey Link students, how's it going today? Welcome to our church at home vlog. Sorry if it's a little echoey in here, but today we are going to take a tour of the kids department and Church in the Sun, but mainly kids department, editing video making studio. Let's go. All right, guys, so this whole month, as you know, we have been talking about Jesus is our Valentine. Very silly, but it's true, right? Jesus is the number one person that we need to show our love to. Jesus is God and he shows us his love all the time. So we're just talking about some of the ways that we can show God our love. Do you guys remember one of the ones we talked about the last couple weeks? Before we talk about this week, I am finally here. We are in our creative filming studio. It's a fun room over here. Sometimes we use this for brainstorming, but actually not really ever. But the creative department, the communication department will use that room. We just come in here and we set up the camera over here on our tripod. And then we have our green screen back here for some of the other church at home videos. That's how we do the fun, like different colors changing behind us, or some of the graphics that go behind me. If I'm talking, it's because of that green screen. And it's super important that I set this all up correctly. We have several lights over here. It might look a little bit washed out right now, actually, because of these lights, but so here are some of our lights, and we have to set this stuff up correctly. We got lights over here, we got the green screen. We have the lights on up here just so you guys can see, and there's another light over here. But normally I follow a checklist of rules that I've made for myself. And it's not because I like rules, and it's not because I'm boring, and if I don't have rules, I don't have fun. It's because I have to light this green screen in a certain way in order to make the effect work. So I have to set up the camera over here. It's gotta be a good distance so that I can stand here a good distance away from the screen, so that way there's no shadows back here, and there's no super bright spots or anything like that. And these lights over here, they gotta light this screen so that the shadow from these lights pointing at me don't create too big of a shadow, but these ones are kinda there, blocking up or lighting up the space over here. And I'm gonna turn off these lights. We got a fun, brightly lit screen. It doesn't look as good because the camera isn't zoomed, whatever, but here we go. So now I can be over here and I can be in space, or anything weird and funky because I have a working green screen. I wonder if I can make the green screen work just when it's a part of the room like that. I don't know. So anyways, as I said, I gotta follow these certain rules for setting up this room and for lighting and all that stuff. And I gotta follow these rules, not because I like rules, but because without them, the product isn't gonna come out very well. It's not gonna come out in a good way. So in the similar way, if we love God, we have to show him our love by being obedient. Without being obedient to God, showing him our love, it doesn't even really matter anymore. One person that we all know from the Bible is Peter. And Peter, he was a pretty cool guy. He was really crazy, and he would do some crazy things. I mean, he chopped off a guy's ears once for Jesus, right? And then of course, Jesus healed the person's ear. Peter denies Jesus 3 times. Peter denied knowing him. And then when Jesus comes back to life, he saw him, they were talking, and Jesus said, "Hey, do you love me?" And he actually said, like, "Do you love me?" And the word he used for love was like a family member. Like, do you love me like a brother, like really close? And then Peter was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know I love you." And then Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." And Peter's like, "What?" And then he said, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter was like, "Yeah." And that time when Jesus said love, he used a different word for love that meant a little bit less than you would love a family member. Peter's like, yes, I love you. And then Jesus said, feed my sheep. And Peter was like, and then Jesus said, Peter, do you love me? And this last time that he said love, it was like a word that you would use to say that you love anyone, like any friend member, any friend from school, or any like a friend like that, a distant friend. And now it's like Jesus is saying, do you even like me as a friend? And Peter's like, yes, you know I love you. And Jesus said, then feed my sheep. And Jesus didn't have actual sheep that needed fed. But what Jesus is explaining to Peter is that if you love me, you have to do the work of the ministry. You have to tell people about my name. You have to lead people closer to me, right? We are Jesus's sheep. We are his followers. So we are people like Peter who are following Jesus, and that means it's our job to be obedient to him and to tell other people about him and to lead other people to Jesus. We have to be obedient to God because following his plans, making his plan a reality, is so much better than anything that we could imagine, right? I have to be obedient to my own set of rules in order to pull off a good, fun video. And I have to be obedient to God to show him, one, that I love him, and two, in order to make the plans that he has a reality. Now, God can do anything without us moving, but he likes to use us to make his plan come true. And we should let ourselves be used by him, by being obedient. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out these memory verses over here. If you guys don't know the memory verses, you won't be able to get into the memory verse party next week. Next week we have a memory verse party. It's from 10:30 to 11:30, so just before service starts. Make sure you are there, guys. You have to know the memory verse in order to get in. And lastly, now we can go ahead and go to our small groups. I will see you guys later.